DR fam, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a great Monday and a great weekend as well. Let's see, let's talk about DR today. Pretty simple day actually, but before we do that, let me get rid of this alert real quick. Before we do it, let's go higher time frame. And I wanted to actually back up to Friday. I didn't have a video on Friday. We ended up with a false DR day. And honestly, when I got home, my headphones weren't working, so my microphone wasn't working. So I just said, I'll just skip it and we'll talk about it on Monday. But just want to point out something, right? So if you remember last week, we were talking about the whole week about, we were in these, with these red candles, right? These down days. We're like, well, where's price going to go? And we talked about, these fair value gaps and how they, impact price, or how impact react to them and so forth. If you notice what happened, so this big long candle is Friday. That's Friday. So this is Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, right? So, we went down Friday, so we were up here Wednesday, right? Up in this bearish fair value gap. We went inside the daily, so we had the daily. Remember, we had the daily inside the weekly, which we still have. None of this says this has changed, right? So it's still the same setup that we had last week. But so if you look at, we had the daily bearish inside the weekly bearish, and we said, okay, what we're expecting is price to come down, right? And so that's what happened. We came down on Thursday, we came down into this green, which is a bullish daily fair value gap, which means that price wants to then move back up. And so we talked about having what I call ping pong, right? Fair value gap ping pong, where we come down, we go up, come down, we go up, right? In between the gaps for a while until we break out either the top or bottom of one of these gaps. All right. And so on Friday, that played out very well. And, it was a false DR day, but if you were playing to the upside, you had a great opportunity to, actually get some good profit on that. And if you also notice where it went, right? Look where the top of that is. We had a monthly buy side liquidity, which is something else we were talking about. We're like, hey, we really want to see it get up to that buy side, take it out, because once it goes to the buy side, it's normally going to come back and move down to the other side. Okay, and that's a monthly, so that's a heavy one. All right. So we took out the monthly. We actually went and revisited today as well. So expectation now for me is at some point we're going to start having this move come down this way. Okay, that's just how I think about it. Now, if we decide to go up and take all this out, then that's great. But right now we are kind of in the middle of that weekly fair value gap, and we're also we took out the buy side. We're at we're in the middle of the weekly. We're on the top end of the daily fair value gap there. So more than likely that's three areas. I'm assuming we're going to actually make this move coming this way. Okay. Now it may not be tomorrow, because you can see what happened today, just high level. We basically had a doji candle today, right, which is indecision. Okay. We went up again above that weekly fair value gap. I'm sorry, above the monthly sell buy side. And then we started coming back down again, and we went back up, and now we're kind of in the middle, right? So kind of that indecision candle, which remember we had one kind of similar one over here. Okay. And then we went up another day and then decided to come back down. So this is just where you start watching and seeing what's happening with price. Right. So I'm not worried about this candle. This is tonight's Asian session. So it's still very early in that session. So I'm not too worried about that right now. Let me pay attention to that one right now. But again, you guys hopefully that makes sense, right? So we're looking to see, my instinct is that we're going to do this. Okay. Back down into this fair value gap. All right. Now here's the other cool part. And if you look, so this is the daily chart, right? So let's put up oops, turn that off. So what we look at do is actually we need if you look right here, right, that was Friday. And so now what we have is a daily sell side right there. Okay. And look where it is. It's basically in the middle of this daily fair value gap. All right. So we got daily sell side. So what am I expecting? Well, I'm expecting it to come down and take out that daily sell side. All right. That's just how price normally works. It goes, buy side to sell side to buy side. Fair value gaps are just great confluence for it to do that, especially in the middle. I can't remember what they call that, consequent encroachment or something like that, I think is what it's called. Like this, that's just basically the middle of that gap and where price wants to move to. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. Again, we'll keep looking at this 'cause I think it's interesting to watch so you guys can kind of see bigger picture, what it is that we are, how we really read price, how I read price, and how I set my expectation of what price is going to do. Okay, all right. So let's drop down now into, let's go down to our 5 minute, just so we can kind of let's see what happened today. And today I spent more time on the higher time frame because today was very simple, relatively simple. Let me not say very simple, relatively simple. So if you look, we did not have a huge range today. We were at 4407, and that range was 4419. So what's that? 12 points. So not a huge range today, but again, a very simple trade. And I'll tell you, I only took 5 points today. Right? I was at the office, was busy, and my alert went off at 10:30. Well, not 10:30. Went off at I set my alerts at 10:30 for price to come up here or come down here, right? High, either the high or the low. And so, when we came up here, we confirmed high, okay? And then a few minutes later, 15 minutes later, we retraced back down into the below the DR high. And so orders placed on DR high, it's about 44.20-ish, let's say. And I set it for 5 points, and I kind of just closed it, and so I had a 2.5 point stop, and I had a 5 point take profit. Um, and what basically happened was this candle, it went up, and on this candle right here, basically at the top of that candle, I got closed out for my profit. And I put it in my one of my Discord groups. So I was like, well, got my 5 points. I'm going back to work. And I kind of walked away from it for the rest of the day. Really, I mean, well, I looked at it in the afternoon, like right after lunch. I went and grabbed some lunch. So right before 1 o'clock, I have to just let me see what's going on, and saw, kind of all this happen, right? So missed out on a bit here, right? Missed out on what's that? Probably about let's say 25 to about 10 points here. So that's could have been a 15-point day if I was actually able to, kind of monitor and monitor the moves and make adjustments. But again, I wasn't really able to do that. So took the 5 points and was happy with that. So anyway, but that was the only move really that from a DR perspective. Even with the ICT stuff, there wasn't a whole lot of ICT action today either. So it wasn't a whole lot to talk about. So that's it, guys. I mean, I don't know. I can't make it any more sexy than that. It was just a cut and dry DR move to the upside. Um, the only thing I'd say is the only thing if you missed that first move, you could have possibly taken that move. It didn't come all the way back down, but at the same time, it's close, right? So you could have taken that move, or you could have said, okay, missed the first move. Let me get in when it gets above that move. I mean, I don't. I'll let you guys figure that part out. Um, the only other piece I saw, we had the weekly open here, and I thought about that you could have taken a trade off the weekly open, but again, those are not DR trades, at least not the way we trade DR. So I'll leave it alone. So 15-point max today, I'd say. 5 point, just easy. Take your 5 points a day. It's like an apple. Take your 5 points a day and, keep it moving. All right. I won't keep the doctor away, but it probably will keep the power people away so you can pay your bill. All right. Anyway, guys, that's it. Hey, love on your loved ones. You never know when you won't be able to do it again. So, take advantage of each and every opportunity. I appreciate y'all. And, we'll see what tomorrow brings. I think we got some of the eyes this week. We got some CPI, PPI stuff going on. I haven't looked at the full Forex Factory. And if you guys don't do that, I highly recommend you do that. Look at Forex Factory. You can actually filter it just like the US and like just a red and yellow folder, so you can make sure you're not, you're not missing anything. But it's good to kind of see what's happening from a market standpoint. Who's talking, because all those things, they're not supposed to, but they do actually impact the market. So anyway, that's it, my friends. Again, hope you guys have had a great weekend, and I appreciate you. And any questions, you know what to do with them. Put them in the comment section, and we'll get back to you guys. All right, y'all be good.